Beautiful music, thank you, very satisfying. Sorry, I shouldn't do that.
That was the point, I think.
So, it's great to be here. It's interesting because I used a couple of books, but I found myself not reading a lot, except on the internet. There's so much on the internet, so much available. It's just totally amazing to me that we have that channel for change available to us in unending supply, just anything. But I love Conversations with God books, Neil Donald Walsh. I love his work. And I often come back to this book, The Art of Possibility. Rosamund Stone Zander and Benjamin Zander, and he was the conductor for the Boston Symphony, and he led a lot of traveling and students. He had a lot of students and young people, and there was a lot of difficulties and opportunities for change, opportunities to change one's mind about what's happening and about what's to come. It's called The Art of Possibility. So, being as it's spring, I thought, cultivating change. Cultivating change. Let's cultivate change. Let's plant seeds. Seeds of change. I found this quote, and I didn't bring it with me, but it's about seeds and change, and if anything that happens to you that is in process is because you've planted seeds, and we plant seeds for many years. I'm going to start using my family as my examples. I have always done that, but maybe I'm going to start doing that a little more because we're entering a phase. I mean, it's just so incredible. We're entering a phase of new difficulties. My brother has been living at the old homestead, and in New York State, and he suffers from PTSD. Imagine this, growing up in the family of origin. He didn't go to war, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. He went to college for a few years, but growing up in the family was such a traumatic event for him that he couldn't do repairs on the house when he needed to. And so the house is falling in. And my sister went there last fall and took him out of the house and put him in an apartment in the next town, and he goes out to the farm every day. And there's a little bit of electricity, there's no water, there's no heat in the house anymore. So it's an opportunity for me to understand that we cannot judge anything that happens. And we have to be forgiving. And we have to make friends with change, because otherwise it's just extremely difficult. The changes that happen in our world are reflections of change that happen inside of us. And as we become more comfortable with our own changes, we become more comfortable with the changes we see in the outer world. And even politically, these changes are reflections of our own uncertainty. If we are afraid that there will be uncertain times ahead of us, there will be something out there that will reflect that. And I was possibly born into a family that found uncertainty in change and in the outer world. So each of us is responsible. I wanted to talk a little tiny bit about responsibility. Each of us is responsible for creating the atmosphere of change that we want. And we haven't individually created this world, but as a larger group, we are creating, and we have created what we see out there. Are we willing to be the change that we want to see in the world? Words of Gandhi. Are we willing to be the change? So I have a quote from Do Zantamata. Just as a flower dies before the seeds for the new flowers can be released, some experiences must end before the seeds of new experiences can be released. Appreciate what was, but know that great things will be. And so it's important to be positive. And just as we can't have too much jewelry, we can't be too positive.
Shameless plug.
We can't be too positive. Well, I'm going to do some jewelry for guys too. I'm willing to make that change. So, it can be painful to leave the past that we have loved. But we have to remember we have never left the arms of God, the God that have our understanding. Not all of us understand the same God. Some of us don't really believe in God. So number one is take responsibility. Number two is have respect. Why did I number things? I love numbering things. I have to organize. Have respect for their others and their processes. It's very important that we, and I think I learned this when I was in my Buddhist phase. Yeah, I've been through some religious phases. That we have to have respect for the paths that other people are taking in their lives. We just don't know why people do what they do, think what they think, and are who they are. We just don't know why. And we don't have to know why. And this is one of the great mysteries. We just can't know what something means to another person. We can't know. We just can't know. And therefore, we cannot judge. We cannot judge anything. We can be discerning. We can make choices. But we must never judge anyone for anything that they do. And that will lead us to compassion and having a sense of, I feel this pain, they feel this pain, I know their pain, but I also know it's not my pain. I'm one with them, and at the same time, their pain is not my pain. And I can appreciate what's going on. I mean, all of us have pain at different times. And usually when one person's in pain, another person is not. So we can be there, we can be present, we can allow another person's pain. Barbara Brodsky's words, that I just totally love and I bring back here very often. The part of us that can see our pain is not in pain. So when we're having difficulty, just know that there is a part of you that is not in Another point I was thinking of that is important. Don't be offended by what others say and do. It's about them, it's not about you. And it's very easy for us to say things that offend other people. And it's very easy for us to get offended. And it occurs to me to be offended occasionally. And when my father-in-law was alive, he managed to do that. And other people said to me, did you hear what he said to you? And I said, well, not really. I mean, and you can do that. You can do that. What a person says is about them. It's not about you. It's not about you. Neil Donald Walsh says, we have within us a deep sense of well-being that can never leave us, can never be hurt or damaged or destroyed. So I believe that's an important thing to remember at any given time. And of course, to pause and to breathe. And if your feet are on the floor, if you're standing, are you standing fully or are you standing? I was just this moment, I wasn't standing fully on my feet. I was like forward. It helps to pause and breathe. There's an image from Sri Aurobindo, which I dearly love. He's a Hindu saint. He talks about this life that we live as the surface of a pond. That we are living, acting, being on the surface of the pond. And deep within is the rest of consciousness. Deep within is the consciousness that feeds everything that goes on the surface of the pond. And I think that's an important image because we all know that it's the surface of the pond that's the most turbulent. And that's totally normal. That's totally normal. So if we look out and see turbulence, which we do, it's just normal for us to look out and see turbulence. We have the opportunity to remember that beneath the turbulence is the support system, the consciousness that creates what is on the surface. Let me read from Neil Donald Walsh. It's about change. Allow your deepest truths to be altered. Alter them yourself, for goodness sake. And I mean that quite literally. Alter them yourself, for goodness sake. Because your new idea of who you are is where the growth is. Your new idea of what is so is where evolution accelerates. Your new idea of the who, what, where, when, how, and why of it is where the mystery gets solved. The plot unravels, the story ends. Then you can begin a new story and a grander one. Your new idea about all of it is where the excitement is, where the creation is, where God in you is made manifest and becomes fully realized. Or, as Swami Beyondananda says, becomes fully fully fulfilled. So be happy with what is, be light, show up for yourself and for others. Know that you are already forever whole and complete. Each of us is doing what we came to do, exactly as we are doing it, because we are divinity unfolding. God is never finished growing because He, she is within us, growing as we grow, smiling as we smile, eyes twinkling as our eyes are twinkling. We're all doing what we came to do. And now it's your turn to do more of what you came to do.